My city is being torn apart. Families are being ripped apart for no reason. For no reason other than them being racially profiled on the street in Chicago, targeting Hispanic communities, people who are at work, kids at school. You're not thinking about the kids or families. You're not. If you wanted this, you're racist, you're evil, and you think that it won't affect you. It's us today and it's you tomorrow. I am so disgusted how far this has gone. You are not angry enough. You are not tired enough until it happens to you. You need to get the fuck up, okay? Peaceful protests do not work against tyranny. This is treason. This whole government is fucking treason. It's treacherous. They're traitors to what America has built and become. They've already waged war on us. This is a civil war. I don't care what you say. This is injustice. There's no due process. How is this legal? You know what? It's not. It's not. And you bring the military? Where's your oath? What do you stand for other than following rules and getting a paycheck? Really? This is about humanity. Humanity. Where's your humanity? Why are you being complacent? Why? You watch all these action movies with the superheroes. You look up to them, you idolize them, but you're not willing to stand up and do the same thing? No, you're not. That's not you. And if you want to be that person, then you need to fight back. You need to say no. You need to stand together. You need to unite yourself. I'm upset with humanity for letting this happen. Stop being so fucking complacent. This is not how it's done. This is not how it's done. People have come here the right way, and their statuses is getting revoked for no reason. They haven't committed any crimes. They're zip tying children. Hello? You have lost your mind. These kids must be getting trafficked because there's no way that they would so willingly separate women, children, families, parents, and kids. They lied to you. They lied to you. What are you going to do about it now? They made you look like a fool. What are you going to do about it now? Get the fuck up. Fuck these jobs. Fuck everybody. Fuck the system. Fuck all the corrupt who are paying these politicians to make these things happen, to implant these ideas into these politicians' heads to fuel their agenda and their greediness and their power. Fuck that job. They don't give a fuck until you stop funding it. You're funding this. Don't go to that corporate job. Don't go to Target, to Walmart. Fuck all of them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck that, and grow your own fucking groceries. I don't care if you need to survive off of potatoes or the cans that you got in your fucking fridge or in your pantry. Fuck them. You don't fucking need them. I get harder. There's going to be a point of no return if you let this happen. There will be a point of no return, and there's nothing we can do. This is why the Second Amendment exists. This is a tyranny. This is not right. This is not how they did it. This is not how Obama did it. They did not go in the street tearing families apart and suspecting them just because they look brown. That is not how this works, honey. That's not the law. You need to rethink your humanity. You need to rethink your humanity.
I'm going to explain literally every single option all of us have for the next 5 years. The first question you have to ask yourself is, are you going to fight or are you going to lie low? Lying low results in exactly one outcome for you, which is to start suffering more and more by small increments as the systems around us start to break down and lose their ability to provide the most basic necessities for life. Slowly you start suffering more and more from housing insecurity, lack of access to healthcare, food, clean drinking water, and these deaths from exposure aren't just immediate, they're literally already happening. Now, whatever your socioeconomic class will decide how much time you might be able to survive before that exposure gets to you and your loved ones. But understand, from here on out, if you choose to do nothing, the only way you're going is down. Now, maybe you have enough resources to survive however many years it takes for this regime to fall. But that is if, and only if, your resources aren't seized by the government when the going gets rough. You might have millions of dollars in a bank account right now, but when this regime needs more money to pay for their military that is policing literally every single person in the country, guess where they're going to pull it from? You. Which means, yes, you might technically have a lot of resources now, but understand literally one person making one decision one day puts you in the same boat as everyone else. So understand that staying out of the fight is guaranteeing an immeasurable amount of suffering for you and your loved ones, and possibly death in the slowest, most painful way possible. But let's look at what happens if you do decide to fight. Now, I love to be an optimist. I love to be a dreamer. I love the idea that we could all be revolutionary heroes and everything works out for us. But that won't happen. The fact of the matter is there are 3 outcomes that are most probable for a people who participate in revolution. Exile, either self-imposed by someone who chooses to leave before the going gets rough, or by force if someone has to flee. Imprisonment, or death. And if you know your revolutionary history, you know that most revolutionaries don't just have one of those things happen. They have 2. Some have all 3. The concept of going from the beginning to the end of a revolution without ever being forced out of the country that you are fighting for, without ever having to be imprisoned for any period of time, and with your life is incredibly rare. Now, you can think of exceptions like George Washington, but people like that are the exceptions that prove the rule. By all accounts, Washington was a lucky motherfucker. So why do it? Why fight if it's nearly guaranteeing these terrible options? It's because these terrible options are everyone's options. These questions are what literally every single one of us has to face. Every single one of us has to answer these things for ourselves. We can't control who lives and who dies. We cannot guarantee protection for ourselves or anyone that we love. However, we can improve the chances. These things are going to happen to each and every single one of us unless we fight and unless we win. Winning means some of us survive. Winning means anyone gets through this. To not fight is to lose. To lose is to die. So if you want any fucking chance, we fight. If you want to improve our chances, if you want to have the best shot of you living, of anyone living, we fight as hard as we can right now. We start moving right now. And guess what? Voting has a part to play in that. I know a lot of you suddenly are rolling your eyes, but understand, we can actually position ourselves in a much better place if we take advantage of the vote. But it's not vote blue no matter who. It is vote for the people who are actually going to use their positions of power to fight like their lives depend on it, because they do. Your odds of survival go up if your city council is willing to fight, if your mayor is willing to fight, if your local sheriff is willing to fight. Now imagine if your state legislature is willing to fight, if your governor, who controls your state National Guard, is willing to fight. Their power, their resources improve the chance of you surviving if, and only if, they are willing to use force to fight back against this regime. Not terse words, not strongly worded letters, not saying, hey, please don't do that, sir, not fucking trolling on Twitter. Those will not save your life, but the willingness to use power to fight back will. So demand that. Demand that from every single candidate. Demand that from every single position, from the lowest local rungs of government all the way up to people who represent you on the state and federal level. Win what we can, where we can. And after all of that is settled and figured out, we get ready to fight with what we have. If you listen to this here and now, it might actually be enough.
The way we get out of this is every single general in that meeting that Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth spoke to must unite, come together, write a letter, and everyone sign the letter stating that they demand the 25th Amendment be invoked to remove Donald Trump as president. He is calling for war amongst his own people of his own country. That is unacceptable. That is treasonous. He must be removed now. That letter must be sent to every single member of Congress, both Republican and Democrat. And in that letter, our generals must state that if the 25th Amendment is not invoked to remove him, that our military will be going on strike. That can't happen. And so therefore, Congress will have to act. We currently have military tanks patrolling downtown Chicago in the loop. In the loop. Domestic terrorism is taking place in the United States of America directly because of Donald Trump, and he must be removed now, and this is the only way to do it. Every general sign the letter, send it to Congress, and demand the 25th Amendment be invoked to remove this treasonous traitor immediately.
So you think you're safe. So you can just kind of ignore what's happening. Let this sink in. Stephen Miller. I'm not choosing my words carefully anymore. Out of 350 million Americans, maybe I got the number a little off, he wants 100 million left. $100 million of just white people left, okay? White Christian nationalists. That's 250 million, okay? Let's just say I got the number correctly. 250 million that have to go. We're not talking all deported. 250 million people have to go, and you think that you're safe because you're not black or you're not Latino or you're not Hispanic or whatever. 250 million people includes some white people. Pull your head out of your arse.
They want 100 million people left. So that means that a lot of not only whites, but every other race would have to go. I mean, think about that. Like, what is it that you would put your life on the line for? Because if we don't fight this battle for others, who's going to fight the battle for us? So we do have to come together as a nation and a community to put a stop to this regime, because this isn't looking good for anybody whatsoever. We have to stick together, and we have to value friends, family, and our communities to be able to do so. If you stay to the end, make sure you drop a blue heart. Make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.